Good morning, this is Pigsy doing another one of my videos as usual. We've had we've had our had another of these terrorist attacks, whether they're false flag or what they are. I think the false part of it is that the information they provide isn't really completely accurate, and also there's always this numerology that goes on as well with all sorts of like terrorism. Basically, it's usually always the same sort of stuff when it comes to numerology. I guess it's slightly different. There's a lot of 22s in it, like 22 victims. The bloke was 22 years old or something. I read somewhere in one paper. So it might not even be true. They just basically throw out different figures because they got meanings to the numbers. So the trauma attachment to the numbers, reptilian type bad stuff. Which might seem a bit crazy, but that's actually what goes on, really. So yeah. So yeah, but that's just, don't worry, that's just a neighbour. I thought I'd give me a little toodle. So that's the problem with terrorism, and that's probably my concern, is that there's a sort of an Illuminati type agenda in the background, and what is it basically? So we've had this guy and he's blown himself up. I haven't seen anything much about the victims at all. So I haven't seen like loads of people coming out with body bags, and there's just people walking around with bits of like rags on them and blood, and it just like hit their extremities, like their legs and arms. So they don't tend to have any sort of, you're not seeing somebody peeing out blood out of his guts or something. I mean, he was allegedly hit by nail bombs. The problem with a nail bomb is that the explosion radius, I think anything in a packed crowd, but a good chunk of it would, basically around the bomb would take the impact, because the shrapnel's probably quite large from it. And people are bony, so it's not just going to fly straight through them. It might do in some cases. It's more likely to get embedded, and especially if it's a crude device. There's some guy, you know, you make a bomb for the first time, not unless he's actually been testing bombs or he's got experience in bomb making. How does he know how effective his bomb is? It's like me decided to make fireworks, and then just letting them off for the first time in a firework display. So did he train himself up for it, or was it a bit more complicated? I mean, for an amateur bomb, it's, you know, it's just, I'm not too sure about how it all worked out and whether he was just a patsy for something else. It's like the parents know a bit more information on what's actually going on with their son, and be able to sort of shed some light on it. But definitely, it's just always going to be fishy, any event that gets into the media, because the media's driven by government and corporate interests, and especially if you see, basically, if you see films and they put people on there on TV, like if you got Obama, you know, like say it was on an Independence Day or something like that, then it's kind of like broadcasting I'm an actor, or, you know, there's some reason behind that. It's not just doing it for fun. They're people that are actually good actors, as they say, and they just do this kind of bit of work on the side. You know, you get news anchors and stuff like that, and they turn up. I mean, you get sometimes they just like chop sort of bits of news and media stuff, and then put it out there in the film. But that's just That's just sort of like bolstering the narrative, and that just propagates this propaganda, and pushes what they call fake news, which is really, that's what it would be, really propaganda. I think the problem is with the idea of fake news is that there is no agenda behind it, and people are just doing it just to see if they can pull in. That's the idea of it. So that's one element I've had thinking about last night. I was just playing around with numbers and stuff, and even the name, I was like manipulating his name. This guy, this alleged terrorist, and I think he called Salamander Die, and I think that kind of puts it as the Roman Emperor, Roman Empire, and well, it's the Vatican now, it's the Vatican Empire, because they're into the eagles and stuff like that. So they're the ones that basically it's their signature. And if you look at the Bible, remember there's something about all the snakes out of Ireland, and there's no actual snakes. They're wise men serpents. They've removed them from history. So yeah, so there's, you know, basically there's a deeper meaning, because there's no real snakes in Ireland that anyone would want to basically chase out. And if you chased them out, where would they go? It's an island. Does it make sense? Islands, that's what's going to happen. A bit crazy or erratic, but it's not really. This is where I live. So, other things that have been going on in the alternative is I'm basically going to get all these spooky devices and like radionics and frequencies and basically treat a few different conditions in myself. An issue I've had is tendonitis, so it's kind of like stimulate that part of my DNA, or find a way to connect myself to something. Maybe I need zinc there, you know, put the program on for tendons, and then send a zinc frequency or something, because everything falls into frequency when it comes to matter. And I guess your DNA organises it inside your body, but when any issues happen, like materials enter with a simple frequency and they sort of cock it up a bit, or certain impurities, then it throws out the DNA sequence. So that's something I'm going to be sort of doing some work on. I was also got a secret project that I'll share with you, and basically with radionics and sending frequency between two quantum bridges, actually. So it says it works in quantum entanglement, because it kind of like removes certain elements. Well, there is an impact, like if you did something to something else is affected, but there's also this kind of like a communication bridge between them, and it's probably a bit more complicated because there's definitely effects on a physical reaction, not just like it's not just a simple case of a delayed reaction from something being communicated across. So yeah, so what I was going to do is I was going to either use a meteorite or something that claims to be a Martian rock, and I'm going to basically use a genetic sample, turn the energy frequency from that planet into my own DNA. Which, what are we doing that for? So I make a quantum bridge between myself and that, and basically feed off some of the life force of that planet. And also there might be something where I might be trying to send lovely barking, send some sort of genetic data to a different planet, because planets have a certain consciousness about them, and if you can sort of like, that might be the way to get basically the genetic information across. It's kind of like the Eden Project. So if I could project it to another consciousness, the DNA sequence is a bit like, you know, species. When species, then they got that, they pick up a radio signal, that's what they said, from space, and then they use that and they make a creature out of it. But I might be using this frequency, so I'm sending stuff from this planet to another planet. So building this basically quantum bridge between me and somewhere else. So if I send my DNA across there, what happens there basically? Is it a simple process or not? So in essence, it's kind of like a subtle stargate, just kind of connect things up. So using meteorites, there was something else as well, where I basically I had this idea that I was going to say I consider myself got some sort of reptilian qualities about myself. I was going to take a raptor's like claw or a sample of a dinosaur, basically fossil, because it has the frequencies in it. That's the thing. It's not just, see, the DNA is the kind of living mechanical part of it, but it's actually got a frequency around it. So it's always connected to what it used to be. So there's a way to sort of tap into that. So I was going to take this dinosaur DNA and basically put the sample in there, but I put the output into myself. So you've got the like add in some sort of like chi or whatever, dinosaur chi to yourself. But I had an interesting experience this morning. I basically woke up, or was it last night? I had this like vision come to me, and there was like she had very light blonde sort of hair and really bright sapphire type eyes, and basically I was in some sort of container. I looked at my hand and I thought, oh, it looked slightly, well, it didn't look human anyway, put it that way. And then I found myself pushing open the glass of this thing, or she went to let me out, and I pushed her over almost, and I come out of this thing. And I realised that I was actually, I had like a raptor's body, so I was actually a dinosaur, but my consciousness was human. And the only problem is I didn't really interconnect that well, and the creature goes into a kind of AI state, so I had to try to like get it to calm down. That was basically it, really. So yeah. Anyways, Piggy signing off. So just finishing off the end part, I had to sort of pretty quickly. I had a guy walking over towards me. I was parked up in a car park, so I thought, oh, he's going to go for a chat. He's going to sort of chat to me about something. But he just jumped in his van and drove off. Yeah, just to finish off, so I saw myself inside the body of a dinosaur raptor in sort of like a space lab. I don't think these human types have been to Earth, and so basically they created this thing. So I had to calm it down, because otherwise it goes into attack mode. And it just sort of defends it. So it's interesting. I managed to sort of basically I was just like focusing and calming it down. But I realised the body was sort of automatic, same way that certain things we do, they're sort of like automatic as well. So yeah. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to sort of add on to that. So it's complicated stuff, really. That how the universe works. But it also comes back to what you think, and not just what you do, it's what you project with your mind. It creates, so you sort of always have to consider how powerful you really are, and you're much more powerful than you realise. So that's one thing. And so I'll probably use this thing. I mean, I'd love to have some sort of like an alien type artifact, or something like bones or something for them. Imagine that, and then project that into yourself. What that might trigger into sort of energetics. So anyway, this is Pixie signing off, so I will catch you soon.